Coming up in the news, executives of Royal Caribbean Cruise on Grand Bahama for meetings with tourism partners. Health officials say there appears to be a high rate of vaccine hesitancy among healthcare workers and the uniform branches. And a new partnership formed between the University of the Bahamas and the YMCA. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Coming up in the news, executives of Royal Caribbean Cruise on Grand Bahama for meetings with tourism partners. Health officials say there appears to be a high rate of vaccine hesitancy among healthcare workers and the uniform branches. And a new partnership formed between the University of the Bahamas and the YMCA. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepherd. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, Grand Bahama Island is poised for a boost. Executives from Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines are on island, meeting with industry partners ahead of the cruise line's return on June 18th. During the two-day visit, executives will take a look at some of the attractions available for passengers when the cruise line returns. Director of Shore Excursions for World Caribbean International, Paul Loughran, says that guests are excited to return to cruising once again and especially about returning to the island of Grand Bahama. This June 18th, Adventures of the Sea will begin calling on Grand Bahama once again, and what's truly important to the economy is having guests leave the ship and exploring the island. To this end, Loughran will be visiting tour operators, vendors, restaurants, and tourist attractions across the island.
We'll be checking out existing operators, potential operators, and the various shore excursion tour experiences they have to offer. Our guests are adventurous. They like culture, food. Beach is really important just to relax. The water sports, we understand you guys have gorgeous white sand beaches, crystal clear waters, and so just top-notch snorkeling. We've heard some good things. So, the water sports are good. Culture, people, the friendly people of the Bahamas, as well as, all kinds of food options. I heard delicious food from conch to conch fritters to crack conch to conch salads. So love it. Yeah, looking forward to that.
And as to his expectations over the next 2 days?
To collaborate with some new operators, collaborate with existing on just the flow and the process of the shore excursions. We're super excited to be back in the Bahamas after such a long period of time, a year plus with not having calls in the region. I know Grand Bahama's been through a heck of a lot with the pandemic and Dorian previously to that, but so our hearts go out to you guys, and we're here just to collaborate and work with operators and find more activities for our guests to come with our cruise ships.
General Manager in the Ministry of Tourism Grand Bahama, Stephen Johnson, says that it was important to have the executives on the island to experience firsthand what Grand Bahama has to offer. He says this is key as they go back to sell onshore experiences to guests.
We're going to be visiting various tour operations, activities, places like Garden of the Groves, Lukai National Park, Pirates Cove, all various places that we are going to be doing the bubble concept for the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line persons. And so we're really excited to have them here. We invited them to come down at our expense so that they could see, taste, and feel the destination. And this is a really, really good day because we know that the economic stability for here in Grand Bahama is going to be solid. And so we're really, really happy that we could have the top RCL officials, our CCL officials here in Grand Bahama.
Currently, the ship is expected to sail throughout the summer months, but Loughran says there is potential for an extension.
As far as I know, some calls during the summer to start, and we'll see how it goes from there.
The Adventure of the Seas can hold up to 3,200 passengers. The return of Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines next month is good news for the tourism sector, and local tour operators couldn't be happier. RCCL executives meeting with various tour operators and others in the tourism business, and as Jay Philippe tells us, Pirates Cove is among them.
One of the destinations that passengers on board Royal Caribbean Cruise Line are expected to visit when they arrive on Grand Bahama is Pirates Cove. The popular beach entertainment location closes doors on March 15, 2020, like many other businesses due to the outbreak of COVID-19. Since then, owner David Wallace says they have been opening in phases once the lockdown was lifted, but now they are prepared for regular operations.
When the announcement was made by Royal Caribbean Cruise Line that they were going to start home porting in Nassau, and one of the ports of call was going to be Freeport, Grand Bahama, we welcomed that news at Pirates Cove. And so yesterday we were happy to receive two of the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line's employees who were doing site inspections here on the island of Grand Bahama.
Wallace says Pirates Cove has never been sold as a destination package on cruise lines. He says after an inspection was completed recently by Royal Caribbean Cruise Line agents, he's confident that visitors will enjoy their experience.
We were able to take them on a tour of the property to show them not only the beach experience, but the water experience, where their guests would be able to do jet skis and banana boat ride. But more importantly, as you know, we have the 8-tower zip line that is the first of its kind in the Bahamas, and while they will no doubt go to Coco Key when they sail out of Nassau, I'm told that the schedule will take them to Coco Key for 2 days. They will then sail on to Mexico, and then they will call on Freeport, which is going to be their last port of call before going back to Nassau to home port again.
Like many other businesses around the world, Wallace reiterated that safety protocols will be put in place to safeguard visitors and employees at the park.
We're going to put in all of the standard protocols, the social distancing. We're going to make sure you have your mask on when you come onto the property. We're going to have the hand sanitizing stations throughout the park, so wherever you are, you can be properly sanitized. We welcome the arrival of the cruise ship business. While we will only be able to open when they are in port, because we don't have, in the daytime that is, we don't have sufficient tourists on the island to open every day.
Dorian and the pandemic have caused a major setback for the business, but Wallace says plans have been made to upgrade the park in the upcoming months.
We are looking at putting in a bungee jump and a rock wall climb during the summer. Once we can get the cruise ship on board, that they can sell the destination. And we're looking forward to working with the taxi drivers. They have been our main support from we opened our door 4 years ago, and so we want to continue to be able to house and take care of the guests when they bring them to Pirates Cove Zipline and Water Park.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
The Grand Bahama Island Tourism Board participating in the Caribbean Travel Marketplace. The 3-day conference was held virtually this year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The conference afforded sponsors and attendees with opportunities for one-on-one meetings, networking events, press conferences, and a myriad of ways to share travel information. During a networking session titled Let's Catch Up, marketing consultant for the Grand Bahama Island Tourism Board, Carmel Churchill, assuring attendees that Grand Bahama is open for business. The marketing consultant telling attendees that Grand Bahama has been welcoming visitors since July of last year, and that the temporary facility at the Grand Bahama International Airport has doubled in size. Churchill noting that the board looks forward with great anticipation for the airport's redevelopment, which was acquired by the government last month. She adds that with direct service from Miami via American Airlines and from Fort Lauderdale via Silver Airlines and Bahamas Air, arrivals continue to trend up as travel confidence has increased. Churchill ending her presentation by advising that as of May 1st, amended travel protocols came into effect, allowing fully vaccinated travelers to upload their vaccination documents to their Bahamas Health Visa application profile in lieu of a negative COVID-19 RT-PCR test. And in other news, the University of the Bahamas and the YMCA signed a memorandum of understanding recently. The purpose of the agreement is to provide students of the university with a holistic education. Dean of Students Dr. Teo Cooper says the university lost its ability to provide co-curricular college experiences when their campus was destroyed by Hurricane Dorian. But with the newly formed partnership with the YMCA, those experiences will now be offered once again. President of the university, Dr. Ian Strawn, says he believes that through this partnership, students of UB North will have access to athletic facilities that would surpass those of the New Providence campus.
Recreational spaces for students to enjoy and build community. Spaces where we can host student programs and events. Spaces for our student clubs and organizations to meet and socialize. Facilities and equipment to promote the physical fitness and well-being of our students. And opportunities for our students to volunteer and engage in service learning projects.
We are very, very grateful to the YMCA for agreeing to make their facilities available to us for athletics instruction. Just last term, we offered swimming to our students for the first time. We are excited about the opportunities for our students, staff, and faculty to use the fitness center at discounted rates, and we look forward to working with the YMCA to maintain and improve its infrastructure.
Executive Director of the YMCA, Karen Pinder-Johnson, says the YMCA is pleased to be a part of such an historic occasion, while Program Vice Chairman Joe Darville says that it is his hope that all students, faculty, and staff learn how to swim.
Our partnering today will increase visibility for the YMCA's brand. It will also allow for a cross-promotion of both organization and network, along with financial support. It will further engage more young adults, permitting the YMCA to be a part of their development by creating a positive social impact.
The fact that this coming together will be able to give us a plethora, an abundance of people who would be directly involved in how we're going to deal with climate change, sea level rise, and how we're going to save our children in the future. Remembering that if more children and people knew how to swim during Dorian, we would have had 1/3 less of deaths due to drowning. And so I am so elated about this.
And now to the battle against the COVID-19 virus. Minister of Health, the Honorable Renwood Wells, expressing concern about the third wave while in the House of Assembly today. At last report, the country has 11,228 cases of the virus. 33.1% occurred during the third wave. The death toll is at 221. 24% have occurred during the third wave. The Minister of Health says officials are also worried that younger persons are now getting infected. Getting vaccinated is viewed as one way to fight the deadly virus. Here on Grand Bahama, health officials say the response from the wider community has been good, but there is concern as it relates to a specific group. Italia Hall explains.
Today, some 6,200 Grand Bahamians have received the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, and 530 have received the second dose. Acting Clinical Director for Community Health Services, Dr. Stacey Bevins-Lang, says overall the response from the community has been good, and there are still a number of persons coming into the vaccination center for their first dose as that process is ongoing. But the acting clinical director says as for healthcare workers and those of the uniform branches, the response has been fairly low.
The response among those groups have been less than ideal. And so we're just imploring persons who are out there putting their lives at risk to just come and be vaccinated. Make sure you're protected. Healthcare workers, we've had maybe 30% of our 20 to 30% of our clinical healthcare workers vaccinated, and of that group it's more our foreign employed persons coming to be vaccinated. So we're just hoping that our healthcare workers at large come and receive the vaccine because we are at the front line.
Dr. Bevins-Lang admitting that there's a level of vaccine hesitancy on Grand Bahama.
There's still a lot of unknowns about the vaccine itself, and so with persons being hesitant about coming in to take the vaccine, that is totally understood. But instead of just listening to things that are on Facebook, we're asking persons to actually read proper magazines. And if you're unable to understand what is being said, because it can be written in a technical term that some of us cannot understand, then I would implore you to go to your private physician or your physician at the clinic. We're here to assist with providing any information that you need.
She says those with comorbidities should speak with a healthcare professional before making the decision to take the vaccine. And as for expectant mothers,
so far with all the studies that have been going on as it relates to the various vaccines that are out there, the AstraZeneca, the Pfizer, and Moderna, we're saying the outcomes so far for the pregnant ladies have been good, and so there has not been any contraindications as to why expectant mother and a lactating mother cannot be vaccinated.
She says some persons have experienced some of the common side effects after taking the vaccine, like a fever and or chills.
Some persons may have what we call malaise or fatigue, body pain. They're very tired. I myself would have had some excessive tiredness, so I slept. But by the next morning, I was quite awake and perky and ready to go again. So those are the more common ones that we're seeing just now. The additional ones that a few persons have been presenting with: nausea, vomiting. For persons who have the nausea or vomiting, we just advise that you keep your fluid intake up. So water, coconut water. For persons who don't have high blood pressure, they can probably do Gatorade.
Dr. Bevins Lang says for those who may have side effects like a fever, chills, body aches, or headaches, should take a Panadol. And for those who may experience more excessive side effects like chest pain or tightness and shortness of breath, should go to the emergency room. It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News.
And now to the latest COVID-19 dashboard. 43 new infections reported, 39 in New Providence, 2 in Grand Bahama, 2 in Exuma, 1 in Long Island, 2 in Cat Island, and 1 in San Salvador. There are 39 persons hospitalized, including 5 on Grand Bahama. To date, there are 869 active cases, 10,154 recovered cases. And stay with us, there's still more news right after this break.